what happens when we talk of security issues? What are we trying to protect? Your information privacy. You send, email from help home or to your girlfriend or to your spouse or to your boyfriend or whatever. You don't want somebody to read that, as simple as that. Data integrity. If you've written, I'm missing you hell of a lot, and someone can actually modify that message saying, I'm having a great time here, the women are beautiful. That's not going to be too much fun when the mail gets there. And finally, resource availability. Okay. There were some reporters who were here yesterday, and while we were speaking, they said we need to submit a story by 3 o'clock. The boss said submit. Just as an example, if they needed to MCP did or use a content management system, and the site to supplement an annual service attack.
I put the tape in.
But this story just didn't make any
I
time.
don't want to be hacked.
3 basic things around which most concerns are raised.
Sorry about that. Actually, I was supposed to do a call.
I would classify most attacks or most attackers under 2 broad categories.
Yeah.
The human machine and the digital machine. Everything really happens because of human beings. But when we're talking of the attack, it's as simple as this. Okay. The first slide is the boring one. The human attacks are the boring ones, but simplicity works. As simple as that. So, for example, if you got a mail from your administrator, at work or in college or wherever, saying that, listen, we are going through security measures and you need to change your password. How many of you would change your password? Everybody, can I ask you some hands, please? Who would change the password? Yeah, the smart guys. Why would you change your password? Why wouldn't the rest change the password? Right? Isn't it good to keep changing your password once every, 7 days, 2 weeks? Surprising. Okay. What would be bad would be if the admin wrote to you and said, hey, listen, you know what, you need to set your password to something complicated like QWE1572. And you went ahead and did that. That would be done. But you know what? Sorry, you have a question. Yeah. Sure. Choosing a password, selecting a password is not what I'm saying. I'm simply talking about social engineering for the moment. Where I come from now, back in India, the internet is relatively new. It's been there for the last 5 years, with the number of people coming on are very less. And what happens is when someone comes, let's say lots of people, we have some very funny software engineers who come to the United States, who come to Europe. The last thing they do before leaving the country is to buy an internet account, buy a machine, and actually teach their parents how to use it, or the family, so that they can be in touch over email. Now these people are almost like this. Yeah? Really, this is again off the net, from the US probably. But I believe that a lot of people utilize the internet for convenience, but they don't know much about what makes it tick. Now, these are the kind of people who would actually go and change their password if they got a mail from the administrator. And what has happened is, if I've spoofed a mail from the administrator, all of a sudden I can write a script which can go and check every account to see if I have access to it or not. And till about 3-4 years ago, getting an internet account was expensive in my country. Okay. Finally, supposing, I walk up to you and I say, I'm part of the health security team, I'd like to check your bag or whatever. If you find, this could happen in a large office when you've got hundreds of people, somebody comes in and says, I'm the administrator, I need to do some work on your machine. So when he sits down, either plants a Trojan there, or injects virus into the system, or simply looks at names and passwords. If you find posing too simple, think of it as human stupid. Okay? Dumpster diving, disgruntled employees, these are all real dangers in the real world outside. More than 65%, and this figure is almost a year and a half old, more than 65% of the attacks have been shown to happen from inside an organization. Let's get to the slightly more interesting part. This entire set of points over there are potential dangers in the connected world. Viruses and Trojans and backdoors and so on and so forth. Okay. Viruses and worms. I'm not an expert on them. I don't know much about them. All I know is that in real life, These guys are the biggest pain in the butt for most corporates. It's easy to see why, you know. A virus is designed to either do damage or kind of do something that you won't expect it to do on your system. The internet becomes a mean to facilitate that virus. And because everybody in the world uses email, I mean practically everybody uses email, it's so easy to cause damage. So as you know, an infected mail comes in and it bypasses the most sophisticated firewall that you may have set up and kind of goes and infects every machine in the network. And, I mean, we've all seen ILW and so on and so forth. Okay, every time you give employees access to the web also and you allow them to download stuff which may or may not be executable, you run the risk of viruses. Trojans. Everybody heard of Trojan horses? Yes, no, yes, no. I want to see if you guys are awake or not. Hands up means yes. Yeah, that makes sense. Otherwise, I'm going to have to explain stuff which you already know. Okay. This is interesting stuff. It's good fun to begin with. I remember, you know, as far back as 10 years ago, I wrote my first Trojan, which simply emulated the login screen of our mainframe in postgraduate school. And you won't believe it. One day, just one day, and I had so many names and passwords. And you know what? This is knowledge, and knowledge is power. Because a lot of these passwords were the names of girlfriends, or they were the names of girls who the guys liked. So it was good fun. But in real life, Trojans can be used for a hell of a lot of more damage. They could be sent by email, they could be downloaded, they could be planted after doing human spoofing. Okay. Denial of service. Denial of service is simply what it means. Okay? You kind of make sure that certain resources, certain things are not available when they are needed, especially when they are needed the most. So it prevents the normal functioning of any service or host or network. Now there are multiple ways in which DOSs can be carried out. We are looking at 2 or 3 of the most popular ones. The first one is what I term as magic packets. The idea is, okay, you know, denial of service is a principle that existed long before the internet also. Even when the computers were old and the computing resources were expensive, you had DOSs which were used to gain more CPU time than was your fair share, or to do naughty things on the machine. For example, if I wrote a tiny script in the root days and said, you know, while true, make directory A, change directory to A, and close the loop. What do you think would happen? And run this as root of the system. It would continuously, it would be a recursive loop which kept making a directory, going to that, making another directory, going to that. And pretty soon the system would run out of inodes, so you wouldn't be able to create any more files or directories and things like that. Now the same principle has been carried forward with the connected age. The only thing is, I'm sitting here, you're sitting there, you know, there could be across the world, and I'm going to try and create problems for you. So magic packets work on the principle of sending a packet which is built in a fashion that it is malformed. When it reaches the target machine, that machine goes into a tizzy simply because it does not know how to handle this malformed packet. It's as simple as that. The principle is just like this. So what type of packets can we make? If you look at this slide, you have, you know, ping packets. When you're checking to see if the machine is alive, so you could make a ping packet which is normally what, 56 bytes or 54 or 64 or things like that, as small as that into something like a 65K packet. You could inject packets which have different sequence numbers from what the target expects and different flags which talk of status of the packet. So the reason it happens is that there are bugs or things that haven't come up in the TCP stacks of the remote machine. One of the most popular DOS of this type was WinNuke. Anybody heard of WinNuke? You know, when Win95 happened, brand new operating system, looked beautiful, you're doing an IRC chat with somebody on it, and just like in the real world, you get into an argument with somebody, and you get into an online argument with someone, and all of a sudden the screen goes blank. And then you kind of sit down and wonder, shit, you know, did that guy make this happen? Or was it just coincidence? And during this time, it really was that the remote guy could make it happen. The way it worked was, you could send a packet with the OOB flag, the out of band data flag set, to port 139 of a Windows 95 machine. That machine would accept the packet and not know what to do with it. And then just like what all good Microsoft programs do when they don't know what to do. It would crash. Okay? So you would get the blue screen of death. And strangely enough, I normally don't like talking with Microsoft because in this slum, they're the only ones who are doing well and they have some good stuff. But it is so silly because this exploit was made known on the web. It was, Microsoft was informed. And you know what those guys did? What they did for the first patch? Apparently, the packet that traveled across the network in its payload carried a string called, I think, BEWN. So what Microsoft did was, in all its wiseness, they looked for packets which had the OOB flag set, which were coming to port 139, and which had a string called BEWN as the payload. And they silently discarded those packets. They filtered those. I mean, that was their patch. Within a few hours, people realized what's happening, and you had WinNuke too. Okay? So the WinNuke category of attacks was the most popular of its kind, and you had people, you could send packets to multiple machines and so on and so forth. Okay. The other kind of DOS is a network saturation attack. Again, the name is, it implies what it means. They remotely disable a machine or a network by flooding it with more traffic than it can handle. So you've got illegitimate traffic going in there, illegitimate packets. The router, the machine goes into high stream. As a result of it, real life work traffic gets blocked. About 3 years ago, okay, I think there are other ways of doing this, okay? You could use broadcast ping, for example. You know what ping is, you try and see if a machine is alive or not. Now what happens if I ping the entire network? I send a packet from my machine to every other machine over there, and those machines are all going to reply back. Now imagine what if I spoof the IP address to come from my neighbor's machine, and I ping the network, and you had 1,000 machines on the network. All of the 1,000 machines are going to send a reply back, and they're all going to hit this guy's machine. Okay, so something like that. You could do SIP flooding, where you make so many connections to a machine that it can no longer accept other TCP connections. You can do things like connection killing or hijacking. We look at some of these in more detail. Then you switch into the distributed DOS. Now, about 3 years ago, Netscape Corporation, or 3-4 years ago, as an organization had more bandwidth, a larger pipe coming into it than in the country of India. Okay, so when we were sitting in India and our international connection, we figured out was less than what Netscape got into its office. Somebody thought, if I want to do a DOS or a network saturation against Netscape, it's impossible. So therefore, the concept of DDoS is born. It says united we deny. So the way to do it is you compromise a set of machines, you install your set of clients over there, and you have a master server which controls these. And at a predetermined time, you trigger off all these machines. So you together attack one target, and your chances of success are really high. And you can see the advantages. I mean, you kind of disable a single machine, it's not going to stop the attack. So you can target larger networks. There were incidents with Yahoo and eBay and Amazon and stuff like that. I'm going to skip through these fast, so in case you need to stop them, please put your hand up because there are short-term timers there in me. Sniffing. Most corporate networks are broadcast. You have an internet and you have machines talking to each other. And as the traffic is traveling along this physical media, every other machine really has access to the network, to the traffic. Normal operation, nobody touches packets that are not meant for it. Okay? The minute you want to use something like sniffing, you will actually consciously make your network interface card accept all packets. The sniffer program will then take and choose packets that are of interest to it. Okay, theoretically it's a passive attack, and it is a passive attack and theoretically should not be detectable. Today when you start using things like hubs and routers, they help make things more efficient, but hubs are still susceptible to sniffing. Not routers, sorry, switches. Switches also, if they are improperly configured, are extremely susceptible to sniffing. Now, typical uses of sniffing. Would most people agree with the first sentence? I mean, you can capture passwords and things like that and so on and so forth. Yeah? But a lot of people don't realize that, the good guys would really use it as a network analyzer. So you can actually monitor traffic, you can actually see bottlenecks, you can see, I mean, it depends on how you're using this tool, I know the good side and the bad side. You can set it up to record every byte that traverses your network and therefore make it a key logger, or you can use it just to record things that are of interest to you. Okay, sometimes the only indication would be seeing the CPU light there or the file system load, because this guy is writing, picking up more traffic than he's normally used to, and he's probably recording it with this. You could run your process monitor, but remember that on a compromised system, PS and fconfig and things like that, which give you information, would have been replaced by Trojan versions. So you run a PS and the sniffer would never show up on that. You run an fconfig and it would never show that link in a promiscuous mode. The next thing is spoofing. It's as simple as saying you pretend to be someone else, and there are various types that we can look at. Today we're looking at more of IP spoofing. This is the typical way in which IP spoofing works. Okay? You really pretend to be someone else. You spoof the source address in the IP packet as if it's coming from another machine. The principle is you normally use a DOS to knock the machine off the network. You masquerade as a machine. So the remote guy you are talking to, hopefully there is a trust relationship between these two machines. Yeah. Hopefully there is a trust relationship between these two machines, and then you exploit the relationship. So really you've heard of things like the .rhost commands, the R commands, which most security people say stay away from completely. Things like that. If there is a trust relationship, then the IP spoof becomes a means of exploiting that. Okay. A lot of these things are really interconnected. So to make an attack successful, you would really use multiple principles. So for example, we could use IP spoofing as a DOS using SYN flagging. Okay, this is a non-blind spoofing kind of attack, which means you have access to traffic that's happening on the network. You are connected to the network of your target machine. The packets are within your reach. What happens is, assume in this diagram, you want to, let's say, do a DOS against host B, and you have host A which is on the network. Now there are two ways. One is host A could be down, or you could take it off using a DOS, or if you have physical access, I said the simplicity is the best way. You simply power the machine off. Then you make a connection to host B, and you make repeated connections to host B. What happens is, everybody's heard of the three-way handshake in a TCP connect? Yes? Yeah, so it's as simple as that. It sets the synchronized flag on with the first connect. B responds with its own synchronized flag and an acknowledgement to A, but that packet never reaches A because A is down. And then B is waiting for the third bit of the three-way handshake to happen. B has a finite queue. That queue gets filled up completely because host X, which is the attacker, is making continuous connections. And B, after that, will not accept any more connections. So you've kind of, you've caused the backlog of B to be accepted, to be exceeded, and it won't accept any more connections. Now you can use the same principle to do something which is known as connection killing, which again is a DOS. There is traffic happening between A and B. Host X can sniff that. Because he can sniff that, he can also compute the sequence numbers and acknowledgement numbers between the two machines. Now you know that TCP maintains its reliability simply based on sequencing and acknowledgement and the state of the packet, the flags order. Now if there is traffic moving between these two guys, and I can figure out what is the next sequence number on the packet that B needs to accept, then I can make this happen. So I can actually inject into this data stream a packet that is constructed by X with, let's say, the reset flag on. Now the reset flag, for it to be accepted by host B, only needs to have the correct sequence number. B is not going to look at anything else. So you might have a transfer happening, you might have a session happening, and this packet goes in there, and B takes it, sees the reset, tears down the connection. And it's as simple as that. Okay, I have to time out, but although we started 10 minutes late, yeah, we started 10 minutes late, but okay, I'll switch to the last slide. and then we could take things offline in case people need to. Okay, the last thing I'm going to talk about is connection hijacking, where you do the same thing. You compute the sequence number and acknowledgement number. It's a logical step forward, saying that, okay, instead of resetting a connection, what if I take control of this connection? Now, how would you do that? You do that by messing up the sequencing of, let's say, host A, and by interjecting packets which have correct sequence number, which B thinks are correct, and in a way B is right because he is expecting numbers of that kind. What will happen is B will update this acknowledgement counter. So whenever A sends a packet after that, B is going to simply think it's a bogus packet and drop it. So as a result, the guy who's sitting on A, let's say extended it into B, will simply get no response. Whereas the guy who's sitting on X has actually got a path into the data stream. He can do what he needs to do and then kind of get out of this. But I unfortunately will have to wind up over here. I know we started 10 minutes late, but I believe the other speaker is there. I had hoped to cover a session on web spoofing, and then there was a section on firewalls which I didn't plan to cover today in any case. So I'm sorry I have to break here. In case any of you guys need to talk about this later, we'll have to do it offline. Thanks for your patience. Bye.
Cadê o stop disso aqui? Oh, caralho. Oh, você conhece essa câmera? Onde foi o stop? Na dúvida eu só vou parar de...
Number of websites cyberactions.nl, which is a website about cyber action.
The presentation already started. Are you recording this?
This contribution about cyber action is quite well structured and brief. It consists of two parts. First, I will talk about what cyber actions are, then who can set up one, when to do this and why. Ultimately, how do you do this successfully, and where can you find resources to do so? At the end, I present some do's and don'ts, and a bunch of quotes for a quick update I did among organizations that use cyber action. What is a cyber action? A cyber action is any kind of political action that is taken on or via the internet to reach a political goal. Political here applies to society as a whole. The essence of a cyber action is that you want to organize people to support a certain goal. Whether your illegal neighbor is threatened to be thrown out of his house and out of the country, or climate change is on its way, you want to prevent this by giving people a place to express their opinion about this, in writing or just with their name and email address. Internet is a fast, free, and effective way to do so. Much used ways to quantify support to cyber actions are collecting names and email addresses of people who support the goal, having people write to certain authorities by email to express their concern, and having people publish their opinion directly or indirectly on the internet. Who can set up a cyber action? Well, virtually anybody can. Internet is the most democratic medium in existence. Not only Greenpeace and the Worldwide Fund for Nature can set up a cyber action. There are almost no technical or financial barriers, and it doesn't take a whole lot of time. The internet provides plenty of free, user-friendly methods and resources. If you don't agree with the way local politicians handle the traffic in your street, set up a cyber action. You can do it in an hour. and then you can contact the people you always wanted to talk to in the elevator to ask for help. When and why can you set up a cyber action? As a whole, I think the reason to set up a cyber action shouldn't be too individualistic. It shouldn't concern only one person or a very individual problem. In order to be credible and able to stimulate people to support, the action should have a broader goal. For instance, attacking a political or corporate policy on a certain subject. How and where to set up a cyber action? Let's say you don't agree with the fact that your neighbor, illegal alien, as they call it, is threatened to be kicked out of his apartment and be kicked out of the country. Well, first, contact a few neighbors. Form a small committee. Second, get the information straight from the illegal neighbor and from the authorities. Third, make a simple homepage at one of the websites where you can do this for free, and it contains a user-friendly program to help you do this, like privacyandsecurity.com. Publish the information there, plus your means and goals. Fourth, open a free email address where people mail a text in order to show their support of your goal to the action. This way you can A, collect names and email addresses of the people that support the goal, and B, gather personal opinions of supporters concerning the issue you can publish on your homepage. You could also open a free discussion forum at this page, where people can publish their opinions directly. 5. Ask the members of the committee to invite people in the neighborhood they know to support the action. Go to the homepage, email their message, and then ask these people to do the same, to invite other friends. This way, we will have ever increasing circle of support. And then 6, which is also very important, send out a press release to local websites and news media in the physical world. 7, monitor the reactions, give feedback when needed, bundle them, and then finally offer all the reactions to the proper authorities. That's about it. From start to finish, the whole process can be done in 1 or 2 weeks. You'll be amazed what you can accomplish and the attention you will get, probably not only from local media. You can design an action page. All right. You can design an action page at websites like tripod.com or geocities.com. You can open an email address at hotmail.com or look for a free hotmail address somewhere. In Holland, once-remove.nl is quite easy to gather. You can start a discussion forum at server.com. And here you can also start a free mailing list that people can subscribe to, so you can easily inform them about the developments and results. Server.com. It's really good. Try it. It will only have advertisement after 2 weeks. That's how they find it. Then 8, inform supporters about the results, so they will support you next time. Again. And then 9, be creative. Don't imitate other actions. Try to give an original swing. Any questions so far? There's a guy called Phil Agri of UCLA, and he gives a number of useful suggestions in order to set up a successful, what he calls, action alert for the internet. You might want to read it and Don't get encouraged. It's quite a lot what he writes. The URL is quite long, so you have to log in to cyberacties.nl later to find it. Then the whole story will be published in. Two do's and don'ts. Don't use spamming as a form of cyber action unless you want to bite the hands that should feed you. Don't let people mail an authority directly, but let them mail you, and then offer all these mails to the authority in one package in an agreed format, digital or physical. Second, don't use a chain letter. Sorry? Well, we have a saying in Holland that you catch more flies with syrup than you do with acid. I mean, if you want authorities to cooperate with you, spamming doesn't improve the relationship. Well, unless you're not on speaking terms. If you have a particular reason for spamming. Second, don't use a chain letter where you can write your name under as a form of cyber action. They really get messed up forwarding and forwarding. And they're somewhere lost along the tracks. Last month, a newspaper in the Netherlands published the experience of medical doctor B. Michael of Lyon. It concerned this little guy, Brian from Brazil, who needed heart surgery. I guess we've heard about it last year. Well, this medical doctor received the chain letter and forwarded it. And then a friend of hers who received it forwarded it again, but also put her phone number in for more information. So she's still being called. It comes in waves, she said, but it's very annoying. There's an interesting cyber action I would like to call your attention to. It's the cyber action organized by Cyber War, which will take place 21st October this year. And it's Jam Echelon Day this year, if you know about Echelon. And they want to distort this international eavesdropping network that scans all our telephone conversations and emails, etc. As you might know, the network reacts if one or more trigger words are found in communications. Trigger words like counterterrorism, information war, warfare, all 2001 perhaps. That information, if these trigger words are found, information is monitored by agents. But what will happen if everybody uses all these trigger words in all the emails we send a particular day? Well, then Echelon would have to employ half the planet in order to be able to check it all out. So for the trigger words you can use is cypherwar.com/echelon, and Cypher is CIPHER war.com/echelon. Okay, this is the final part. Not running out of time, I hope. Try it. Yes. Okay, well, I'll get the URL. Yep. Okay, yeah. Sorry, it's done. Last week I did a quick update among organizations that use cyber actions. Greenpeace and World Fund for Nature to the strengthening. Last week, Greenpeace and World Fund for Nature can be regarded as forerunners when it comes to cyber actions. And WWF supporters can become a member of what is called Panda Cluster. And as a member, you are regularly invited to sign petitions or send email messages when nature is at stake anywhere in the world. Greenpeace International has its cyber activist community with about 25,000 members worldwide, and they say they're growing by 200 every day. This is said by Julia Jutten of Greenpeace Netherlands. To her, cyber actions work best when companies or politicians worry about their image. Even limited pressure by way of cyber action can result in the right behavior towards the environment. A special kind of cyber actions that is applied by Greenpeace are the webcams that directly show the pollution, the whole world, like fires spitting out stuff. But she says cyber actions will never replace the rubber boats, but with every action in the physical world, we nowadays think of how we can let the public participate via the net. She mentioned that a good spin-off of the cyber center is that people from all places meet there, and they happen to find out that they live in the same region, and then they start to fight environmental issues locally, even apart from region. There are some interesting links at the Greenpeace website about the cyber activism of Greenpeace, but it will be included in the tutorial published at cyberactions.nl. Then Ronald Raamakers of Amnesty International says, the internet is becoming more and more important in fighting human rights issues. For instance, members and other people are asked to email authorities in countries where political prisoners are mistreated. Several national organizations of Amnesty work independently, but they are moving towards an international approach of these actions. Since a few months, Greenpeace Netherlands has an SMS action, which is quite a success. You can subscribe to the action, and then every 2 weeks you get a message about a political prisoner on your mobile phone, and then you can answer it in order to protest. I mean, that was meaning that I have 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. And there are similar email actions that you might have heard of Friend of the Earth, a loose international federation of environmental organizations, which in Holland is represented by Milieudefensie. Koen Vink of Milieudefensie says they are working on a cyber center like Greenpeace too. And they hope to get a grant from the Dutch government. Their recent physical and digital action called Groene Grens, Green Frontier, is considered a success with 13,000 supporters via the internet. Finally, a smaller organization, which is called Limburg Huis. That's an organization in the south of the Netherlands that fights for the survival of their language, Limburgs. Their website is an important meeting point and medium for the dissemination of information. And Paul Prikken of Limburghuis.nl says that the dictionary of the Limburg language that is on the site is very popular. The amount of downloads of this dictionary represents the support the organization has. Being a small group without many funds, Paul praises the fact that the internet is so cheap to use to reach your goals. It also gets you in contact with a much younger crowd than in the physical world. And to get response, there is no medium that can beat the internet. That's all. So far, my contribution. We just got a contribution from Mr. Well, maybe you can say it yourself.
Okay, thank you. Sorry for the review. Regarding the selection, yesterday it was closed by the Italian police, the www.netstrike.it website. It is maybe netstrike.it. It is closed yesterday because the site has been mirrored immediately, and it is now physically outside Italy. We have some mirror. Sorry for the Italian. Now it is being translated into English. Netstrike means to agree in a group of activists and attracting as much people as possible to serve or to connect to a website at the same time for a specific duration of time, and having the site to go down and not respond. This is only a demonstration, like calling a lot of persons in the street to demonstrate peacefully in the street. I will read now the.
I think we can read that on the website. I want to ask you if they have questions.
Okay.
And then.
This website will be in English soon, I think before noon. Look at it. Eventually we can see at the indie media which we support and we are supported by. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Any questions?
Do you really think that your action against national will be efficient by the internet? It's not better to target European Parliament and NSA on email instead of just put keyword in the attachment on the email, because national maybe is not supposed to really touch email.
Well, I'm not a member of Cyber War, so I cannot judge their means, but to me, I've been talking to several people, they say it's good to use several methods. I mean, you can do things in the physical world, and you can do things in the digital world in lots of ways, and it's if you combine all these methods, the effect is about to be best. Yeah? More questions? Okay, thank you very much.